how you love me electric, like you do. Love it, how you love me electric, always you. Love it, how you love me electric, electric. I love it, how you love me a lot, love me a lot, love me electric. Baby, keep the light on for me, I'm coming home. Know I got you forever wherever I go.
This is where you are getting bang for your buck. If you're coming from the US, or even if you watch our Thailand video or our Portugal video, schools were kind of expensive when we were looking at that. We were like, oh, that could make or break your decision. But the schools that we found here in Merida, they were a lot more cost efficient for us. So it was like we see we could do this and not have to like, should we put them in that school or this school? Now, I will say, even talking to the local, we went where we were in Isla Mujeres, and we were talking to one of the young men who were there, who his English was so good, and we were like,
man, it was so good.
Yeah, his English was perfect, and we were like, wow, did you learn English like in school, in the local school, or did you go to a private school? And he was like, to be honest with you, the English that is in the public schools is not great at all. He said, they'll tell you that they, teach us English, but he said it wasn't good. He said he learned English from his dad. But
yeah, he did say
so
that. Yeah.
That's something to be mindful of, that you're probably going to have to put your kids in private school. So we're going to go over cost of some of the private schools that we did find. Now, the one that we were looking at was actually Madison, International School, and that was from $4,000 to $6,500 for the year.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, what?
For the year.
For the year.
Yes. So yes, and these are nice schools. Now, I will say the schools that we found in Thailand and Portugal, they were a lot more fancy than the schools that we found there. These were nice, but just not as nice as those schools.
Yeah. Now, I would say too, one thing, even when we're looking in Thailand, we were even considering just go online because it would be a little bit cheaper going online. But we had to really kind of like pull back and think about it. Like, if we were in the position of our kids at the age that they're at, would they want to be around people? I think we made another video, we were talking about Carter versus Chase, and Chase is like the social butterfly. He wants to be. Well, Carter's like, hey, I'll hang out at home, let me do my work, I'll go outside later with you guys. So that's kind of one thing, like Brizette mentioned, just kind of know your kids. But I would tell you, based off the prices that we found here versus the prices,
they going to school.
Oh, they going to school.
They're going to school. And I just on that note with Jason, I had a friend who actually just moved to Thailand with her daughter, and their plan from Jump Street was that they were going to do online school. And after the first 2 weeks, their daughter was like, can I please go to school? So they ended up having to do an international school. So you might have a plan of that you are going to do online because you're like, this fits in our budget. But then you might find that your kids are like, absolutely not. Like, I hate this. I want to be around friends. I want to make friends, especially when you're somewhere that a lot of people don't speak the language that you speak. It's nice to be able to go to school and have that time to be able to speak to people in your own language and be able to understand them and just have that outlet and make friends. So.
Yeah. So the next school we want to talk about is Cumbres International. And this is a K through 12 program as well. Again, all the school that we're talking about, we're not talking about colleges. We're talking about clearly to high school. Now the tuition for the year we found on this one was $4,500 to roughly about $6,500. Now it could change, but this school in particular is a faith-based school. So again, they have comprehensive bilingual programs. So again, if you have that English and also you want that Spanish, this is kind of one of the best ways that you can actually look into it for your kids, The other one that we wanted to bring up too was the St. Patrick's School. And again, that's a K through 12, roughly about $4,000 to $6,000 for the year per child, clearly. But this one has more of an English focused instruction, which is really popular with the expat community because again, if your kid is not the type to really pick up on the Spanish or they're having a difficult time, this may be an option for you. I do know for us, we want our kids to learn both. Yeah, Chase already knows it, but we want them to really pick up on it.
Yeah, and being that the tuition is not so bad, and firstly when we thought about going to there, we said, well, Chase can go to a public school there. And after we sat back and thought about it, we were like, well, maybe it'd be better for him to go to a private school. So it's something that we can afford, but I will say he has an advantage over Carter because he is fully bilingual and he can read it, write it, and everything. Where Carter, he would still have to do a little bit more work to learn it. Our top of our list of schools would be Madison if we were going. But we still would want to take a tour, and we suggest that anyone, before you just put your kids in a school, take a tour. Make sure that this is the fit for you, because we could give you all the information in the world, but unless you see it firsthand, it might not be the fit for you.
Yeah. The next thing we want to move on to is healthcare.
Healthcare. Healthcare. If you are in the U.S., you know right now, healthcare is something that we're going through right now, and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
Even with if you get discounts, or if you're through a job or whatever, it's still expensive. Or even if you're paying out of pocket, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Where we talked to so many people when we were in Merida, and it was funny, the bellman that we talked to
while we were in Cancun.
We were talking about braces. I don't know how we got on. I think we were just telling him how nice his teeth look or something. I don't know. But we were talking about braces. We got on this subject about braces, and he was telling us actually he went to Merida. No, that's what it was. We told him that we just came from Merida, and he told us, I go to Merida to get my teeth done. He said the best doctors come out of Merida, Mexico. They go there to study, and they are top-notch doctors. And then while we were in Merida, one of the expats we were talking to, she said her husband, they told him they lived in Costa Rica. And her husband was having some health issues, and they actually recommended that the best doctors for them and his condition were in Merida. So that's how they ended up in Merida, Mexico. So we were like, dang. Like, that's really good to know.
Yeah.
And he was telling us the cost for him to get braces, and his teeth looked amazing, the retainers and everything. I want to say he said like $3,000.
I think he said
he's like $3,000 in total.
Yeah,
and that was like maybe 2 years ago, but he was like $3,000 in total, and that was for the cost of all his dental work, and they pulled teeth and they did everything, and his teeth looked so good.
Now the one thing he did say is that, of course, if you're trying to pull that off in the States, it's going to be more because you got flights and stuff, but he just took the bus. I believe he took the bus. He went out to Merida. It's one of his friends that's the dentist out there. And literally, he said it was one of the best things that he's done. Also, another thing I would say, there was somebody else we talked to. They were in Playa del Carmen, and they moved out, or they were seeing a doctor in Merida. So again, it's kind of one of those things that really sat in for us, knowing that, okay, not only are the schools cheap, but this healthcare too is something to take advantage of. This is somewhere that we definitely want to go.
Thanks so much for watching our video. We're just taking a quick second to let you know that we have a website.
Yeah, did you guys know that La Pointe Life is online at www.lapointelife.com? You might see it down at the bottom of this description. Right now, we're loading up all our tutorials. We're loading up all our guides that we have, because we believe that every family should travel outside their zip code and experience life outside their zip code. So head over to lapointelife.com right now, and make sure you check out some of the resources that we got out there for you guys.
Yeah, so keep watching the video, like, subscribe, and join the journey with us.
Let's get you back to the video. And also, I would say, I'm sorry, sometimes, to be honest, the doctors itself, they're U.S. trained too, so they go back to
then he was saying a lot of them go there to get trained, and then they go to the States.
Oh, to the States. I'm sorry,
like that to work. So we did find that you can either pay out of pocket, you could just do visits, pay out of pocket, or you can get a health plan if you want to. For us, I think when we get there, we probably would just pay out of pocket until we kind of figure it out if this is somewhere we're actually going to be for long term. But out of pocket, you find for a monthly. You want to go over it?
Yeah, so the monthly rates, as far as like what we were looking at in our research, for public is anywhere from about maybe like $60 to about maybe give or take about $80 to $100 per month. So I mean, compared to what we're paying now, which is astronomical.
Yeah, crazy.
But again, that's what you're kind of looking for. That's what you're kind of looking at if you're looking like the public plan. If you go with private insurance itself, and I want you to hear this, in our research, it was anywhere from $250 to about $400 per family per month. And again, that's still cheaper. Even if you're in the States and you're any type of subsidies or anything like that, you already know you're still not going to find rates that low at all. And compared to a family, I mean, 10 months, you're looking at $4,000, whereas, in some cases you may be paying over $1,000 a month in health insurance, private health insurance here in the States. So the cost there is huge. And again, with those premiums, as far as the monthly out of pockets and such, there is no out of pocket at all.
Yeah.
So this is just your rate. This is what you're paying. You go to the doctor. That's what it is.
That's what it is. And we talked to a couple of expats, and they just said, no, we just go when we feel sick. We just go. We pay like $20 sometimes. We pay $30. We see the doctor. Sometimes it's $5 and $10. Chase had some issue with his foot while we were there, and they were like, oh, just go to the pharmacy and see the pharmacist, or you could see the doctor there when he's there. And they would think it was like $15, and we were like,
I think it was 10.
It was so cheap. We were like, bet, and that was just, and they gave us a prescription, and we were on our way, and the prescription was like $3,
$3,
yeah. And we had some stomach issues going on. We got a prescription for that. So take advantage of it while you're there.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I want to jump on and just say, like, specialists. And I know a lot of people here in the States, that's one of our biggest pushbacks, our drawbacks. Like, what about the specialist doctor that I have to see with any condition that you have? Now, in our research, we found that even going to a specialist is anywhere about $15 to maybe $30 as far as like public specialists that you're going to see. And when you have private insurance, it could be anywhere from like a $25 to $30 copay, which is kind of like comparable here to the US. And the most of out of pocket that you may have is like 60 to maybe 120, maybe $150 that you may have out of pocket going to a specialist. But as you know, with some of the insurance that we have here, you have a copay, you have co-insurance. So after you pay that copay, you're going to get another bill in the mail based off what you have for co-insurance, just depending on your plan. Again, just the savings right there of having predictability, I think that's huge, especially when you're going for a family, and we're a family of 4. That's a big plus for us.
That's a big plus. That saves us a ton of money.
Yeah.
All right.
Last thing I just want to talk about is the emergency room, because emergencies happen, especially with kids. So what we found in our research with public is anywhere from about 25 to about $35 as far as like your out of pocket for public insurance. For private insurance, it's usually covered, the emergency room. It's covered.
It's covered.
And also, like, your out of pocket that you may have, let's say, give or take, probably, x-rays and such like that, 80 to about 120, maybe $150. Again, when we go to the doctors here in the US, you have the physician's fee, you have the radiologist fee, you have the radiologist, like the facility fee. There's so many different fees that you're tacking on.
There's so much going on.
But by the time you look at this, it's actually so much cheaper too.
Yeah. The thing I can't stress enough is that the best doctors are there. So I know you might feel scared, like, oh, they don't speak my language, and a lot of them speak English.
Yeah.
So don't be nervous when you go there. Try it,
So hopefully this video was helpful to you. Make sure you drop in the comments, what are you guys thinking? Also, just if there is somebody who is considering Merida, Mexico, definitely send this video to them, because again, a lot of things that we talked about in this video is things that people are not considering. And the fact that the matter is that we were just there a few months ago is something that really just popped on our radar, that we say, we definitely need to talk about this.
Yeah, and I will say, before you move anywhere, please go visit. And if you are in Cancun, taking a trip to Cancun, go ahead and take that train ride.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I didn't even touch on that. The train was so nice. They cleaned that train like top to bottom. Every 2 minutes they were cleaning the train. Clean, nice, friendly. So take a train ride over and just enjoy Merida for the day. Or 2.
Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.
Thanks so much for watching this segment of La Pointe Life. If you want to watch the full episode, click this box below. And if you want to see more of our podcasts or just family-friendly content,
like travel adventures, restaurant and activities, traveling with kids, or just ways to get outside of your neighborhood and see more, make sure you visit our full gallery here at La Pointe Life on YouTube. Catch you guys on the next one.